Our lesson this week is on 2D figures and classifying those, and it seems pretty easy but can be a little tricky. So let's first of all talk about what a polygon is. A polygon is a figure, a 2D figure that has straight sides and is closed. So this figure here, because it's got curved sides, not a polygon. This figure right here, because it's not closed, not a polygon. But now this one is, because it's made up of straight line segments and it's all closed. So if I showed you some examples, we know that this is a triangle. It has three sides. It is closed and it is made up of straight line segments. This shape here, attach it back, is closed, made up of straight line segments or sides. It's a polygon. This one has 5 sides and 5 angles, but and so it's a polygon. But the one that we're going to focus on the most is the 4-sided polygon. And the 4-sided polygon is called a quadrilateral. Quad means 4. So if it has 4 sides and 4 angles, then we know it's a quadrilateral. So there's some specific quadrilaterals that have unique characteristics. Now, like this one here would not be any of those. It's a quadrilateral, it's a polygon, but it's not going to have the characteristics of any of these 5. So let's start with the trapezoid. The trapezoid, this one right here could be a trapezoid. I thought I had another trapezoid. See, I can make these 2 sides parallel. This blue side and this green side are parallel. So if a trapezoid has one set or one pair of parallel sides, I'll abbreviate some there, parallel. Now, I always learned that a trapezoid only has one set of parallel sides. So this would be a trapezoid. I teaches it that as long as it has one set, it's a trapezoid. This, they would even call a trapezoid because it does have at least one set. The yellows are parallel, but the blue ones are too. But they would consider this still a trapezoid. So a parallelogram, as I teaches it, is a trapezoid, but that it has 2 sets of parallel sides. So it has 2 pairs of parallel sides, okay? So this is a parallelogram. I can turn it like this. It's still a parallelogram because the yellow and the blue sides, the pairs are still parallel. So that's what a parallelogram is. Both sides, opposite sides, have to be parallel. A rectangle is a parallelogram, but you look at the angles, and as long as the 4 angles are 90 degrees, then we call that a rectangle. So a rectangle is a parallelogram because it has 2 sets of parallel sides, and it has 4 right angles. Now we know a square is unique because a square is a rectangle because it has opposite sides parallel and it has 4 right angles. But what's more unique about it is that all 4 sides are the same length or equal length. So a square is a rectangle with equal sides, 4 equal sides. And then you have something called a rhombus. Well, a rhombus is similar to a square. A square has to have 4 equal angles, but a rhombus does not. So this is a square, this is a rhombus, but this is a rhombus too. Still got 4 equal sides, it's still parallelogram, but it just doesn't have the 90-degree angles. So this is a rhombus, that's a rhombus, and that's rhombus too, and it's a square. So a rhombus has to have 4 equal sides it must be a parallelogram, but it doesn't have to have the 90-degree angles. So those are your special quadrilaterals. And so you'll have some questions like on your iReady. I know one of the questions is something like, it's almost like you have to click on a lot of the shapes that have those characteristics. So be careful, because sometimes you might not see them all. Gotta be real careful about that. But like one of them is, I am a parallelogram. All sides are the same, but I'm not a square. So if I'm a parallelogram, all sides are the same length, but I'm not a square, then I'm a rhombus. So the answer to that one's a rhombus. You'll have to look at pictures and say, you know, I'm not a trapezoid. You have to click on the one that's not a trapezoid. One of the things that I came up with that works for me, just kind of a graphic, I'll show you real quick. Probably won't help you too much on your lessons, but maybe will help you in life. So quadrilaterals are polygons. So I'm making a big old P. Okay, and that stands for polygon. Inside the polygon, I'm drawing a big old Q. That's for quadrilateral. And inside the quadrilateral, I draw an upside down trapezoid, or it's not necessarily upside down, but it looks kind of like a smiley face. And that's a trapezoid, because a trapezoid is a quadrilateral, it is a polygon, but that's really all it is. iReady will tell you something different. I'll tell you that in just a minute. Then I make this look kind of like a Ninja Turtle. Then I draw this mask. There's his mask, and it's a parallelogram. Opposite sides are parallel. Then for one eyeball, I draw a rectangle, and inside that rectangle, I draw a square. And so what I've got so far is a square is a rectangle is a parallelogram is a quadrilateral, and a quadrilateral, of course, is a polygon. A square is all of those things, because the square is inside all of those shapes. Now over here for the other eyeball, I draw a rhombus. That's supposed to be a rhombus. And then inside, I draw a square. Because the square is a rhombus is a parallelogram, a rhombus is also a quadrilateral, a rhombus is also a polygon, etc. Because